Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. And as always, we give peace and salutations unto the elect. Now, as you see on the screen here, just a quick news update. 2 senior FDA, activator, regulators are stepping down. All right, now, if you know anything about the FDA, it's the Food and Drug Administration. All right, and you have all of this fuss about, things need to be approved by them in order to be deemed eligible to take or eat. All right, but just do a little history on them, and you'll find out that they're just as crooked, wicked, and evil as everything else in Babylon the Great in this beast system. Okay, in the factories where a lot of the foods and candies and chocolates, especially chocolate bars, are produced. Okay, there's a certain amount of rat feces, rat hairs, bug, limbs, and all sorts of things that are infesting these factories. And the FDA says, okay, we'll allow only 10%. Okay, anything over 10 or 15% of these feces or bugs and yada, 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 all right, should be allowed. Okay, they don't do what's needed to fix the problem. They just allow all sorts of junk. And when you look at the foods that are readily available to the American people, okay, especially you Israelites where you dwell heavily, okay, all of the foods are jacked up, okay. But anyway, 2 senior FDA curl activator, the devil got a curl and he sprays the juice on his curl, okay. Regulators are stepping down, okay. And I'm just joking about the curl, but you know what the activator is. They're stepping down. Now let's read why. And this just goes to show you that the Lord is going to throw a wrench, okay, in these devil's plans as they move forward. All right, because when you go into prophecy, they would be divided in these latter days, okay, which is going to cause them to fold from within. Now, of course, they're going to come with the sword, but pretty much they're going to make a fool of themselves and show themselves to be Satan and then just be taken down. All right. And yeah, it will come with some persecution. Yeah, it will come with, some of us, having to go through things, even death. But at the end of the day, these devils are getting ready to lose. Okay. Here it is. We get judged for the offenses we do, even before we were in the truth and while we're in the truth. We get judged all the time. All right. We're not exempt from judgment. But you really believe that this devil, after this vast history of rape, rob, murder, lying, poisoning, destroying, propaganda, is going to get away? No, that's not written. So don't go into Jacob's trouble thinking the devil is going to win. He's going to lose. But it says Mary and Gruber, directors of the FDA's Office of Juice Research and Review, and Deputy Phil Cross will exit the agency. All right. It says their announced plans to depart come as the Biden administration, or who you Jakes, you cry for the Biden administration, and they're stinking up the field on a whole nother level. Okay. Hey, he's top 3 worst Babylonian presidents. Okay. He's definitely top 3. It says their announced plans to depart come as Biden administration prepares to begin offering, all right, Crown Royale juiced boosters, all right, booster shots to the general public. It says the officials were reportedly frustrated with the White House getting ahead of the agency on the boosters. Now, you read here, it says, let's just read down to a good point. It says, Their announced plans to depart come as the Biden administration prepares to begin offering booster shots to the general public the week of September 20th. Some health experts saw the move as premature, all right, because here it is, you got particularly these devils that they're down with the whole agenda, but some of them are like, look, man, we know we gonna, do the damn thing, but wait, hold up. Whereas you got other devils like, no, let's hurry up and get this thing moving. We got to do this, we got to do that, got to have this out by then. And you got others like, look, man, let's just go according to the plan. And you got others like, nah, man. And that's, in the scriptures in Daniel, the seventh chapter, it tells you that Babylon, his look was more stout than his fellows. Now, this is all within the system of Babylon the Great. All right. But then they're divided. As the scriptures say, if a kingdom be divided against itself, how can it stand? So they don't agree on particular things and how to move forward with the NWO. Okay. It says, some health experts saw the move as premature and political. And that's what it's all about. All right. Especially because the FDA hasn't finished reviewing data on Boost Mobile yet. All right. And this is, truly an open, all right, experiment. That's all it is. It says Endpoints News, a biotech industry publication, reported that the officials are leaving because they're frustrated that the CDC, all right, look at the name of that, disease control. All right, so you just know they have just all sorts of evil tubes of all sorts of madness that they eventually release. Oh, and you just wait until these Edomites start getting really down and dirty. They're playing. They're still trying to be nice. They're coming with draconian measures, but they still have that little lamb tail hanging out. They're the one of the horns is showing. They're trying to cover it up. You know, and in some cases they're going full out, but they're still trying to hide as if they're really there to help you. But you just know their countenance is going to change, and they're going to start really, really, really coming down as the devil that they are. But it says because they're frustrated that the CDC, goodness gracious, man, goodness gracious, it says the CDC prevention and its advisory committee are involved in decisions they think should be up to the FDA. So you have difference of opinions. It says the final straw was when the White House got ahead of the agency on Boost Mobile, according to the Endpoints News, citing a former FDA leader. So they're basically saying Babylon is getting ahead of himself. All right. Whereas this should be about, health and this and that. They're making it political. Okay. It says when asked at the briefing later Tuesday whether the departures will affect trust in the FDA, White House COVID czar, and look up the czars. It's basically going back like Caesar is dealing with a ruler. I forget the full history on it, so I'm gonna hold off on. But I know it, but I don't want to just ramble off something. But it says Jeff Zients said the decision to distribute Boost Mobile was made by a number of senior health officials, including acting FDA commissioner. It says our medical experts laid out, having reviewed all the available data, it is in their clinical judgment that it is time to prepare the Babylonians for Boost Mobiles, he said. All right. So they're not agreeing on particular things. All right. And then you still have particular states that are against, mandates. So just look out for more division amongst these devils. I mean, of course, we can get the prophecy here. Satan divided. Okay. This is Mark 3:26. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but hath an end. Okay, and we know when you read the word Satan, okay, yeah, it's speaking of the adversary, the spiritual demon Satan. But when you read the Bible, in the latter days, you definitely would have a nation of people, a group of people. Okay, it's not one antichrist; it's a system of anti-Messiah ran by a particular people. And when you go into end time prophecy, that beast system that would rule in end time prophecy would be ran by the biblical Edomites. Okay, and then it tells you here, okay, 2 Thessalonians 2:8, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, he shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Okay, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. All right, and if you don't understand this truth, okay, if you don't understand this truth, you don't see an end of his foolishness. All right, so all of the madness they throw out, you're going to take as fact, and you're going to trust in all of this garbage. But here in Psalms, the 73rd chapter, okay, it says in the 17th verse, until I went into the sanctuary of the Most High, then understood I therein. So you go into biblical prophecy, and it tells you how their tongues would fall upon themselves. They would be divided in the latter days. The beast system, which is the NATO and the EU, would be against Babylon the Great. Within Babylon the Great, there would be differences, and that would be major, players in their downfall, as well as prophecy itself, which that is prophecy. All right, but they're operating under the vibration of the spiritual demon Satan. Okay, when you read Isaiah the 14th chapter, they're also the elite. All right, of these Babylonians. The king of Babylon is likened unto Lucifer. Okay, so surely thou didst set them in slippery places and casted them down into destruction. They're in slippery places right now because they're trying to figure out a way to bring forth what they're bringing, okay, but then not have it so obvious that it's tied to what's written in Revelation, the 13th chapter, what John the Revelator saw. All right, and they can't do it. All right, they're bound to what prophecy says, so they're going to do exactly what the scripture said they're going to do. All right, but they're going to be overcame by a particular message. So when you come into the sanctuary of Yahweh Bashim Shai, you understand their end. Okay, and it says, surely thou castest them down into destruction. Okay, and they're in those slippery places right now, trying to figure out how to do this, trying to figure out how to shut down the vast amount of information coming out against them. We're in an info war, okay, and we know it's going to end with them coming against the ones with the main information, because everybody else just talking. Now, there are particular people who are bringing out some very pertinent information, but they don't have the hope of the end of it. They don't have the answers as to how it's going to end, what's next, why is this all happening. They just attribute it to an evil government. Now, you do have particular of these Edomites and people, who aren't believers of this truth, talking about this is biblical, but they don't have the full 100%, breakdown of why. But you have to come into the congregation of Yahweh Bashim Shai to get that understanding. And then you go to Daniel, the second chapter, okay? And it tells you that at the very end, Daniel chapter 2:40, and the fourth kingdom shall be as strong as iron. This is speaking of the Roman Empire. For as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and as iron breaketh all things, it shall break in pieces and bruise. Okay, and they did bruise, and it was under the Roman Empire that Yahweh Shai, our heel was bruised, but they took us down. All right, they ultimately took down all of the nations, and then there was a revival of that Roman Empire. Okay, starting at the Renaissance, leading up to what we know today as Babylon, the Great America, NATO, and the EU. the beast system. It says, and whereas thou sawest the feet and the part toes of potter's clay and part of iron, okay, because it's partly strong and it's partly weak. Okay, militarily, yes, they're strong, but economically, they don't agree. Decisions like this that we're reading about in this with this whole, Boost Mobile, they don't agree. You got particular people leaving, okay, and they are all still the devil, but the Lord is putting the spirit on some of them to have differences, okay. It says, so shall the kingdom be divided, okay. The kingdom is going to be divided. Let's look up the word divided really quick. Okay, if it pulls up. I know a lot of you been having internet issues as well. Or maybe I just need some more data, right? But anyway, let's try it one more time. Okay, I'm guessing it's not going to go through, but it says the kingdom shall be divided. I mean, they don't agree on everything. Now, they're all down for the New World Order, but just watch. You're going to have particular devils like, let's put it all on the line now. Whereas you're going to have others basically saying, nah, let's wait. I know we're going to destroy these niggas, but look, let's wait. Let's bring that out. Let's be a little more subtle in this approach, because Biden, he's just nasty. He's tacky. He don't give a damn. Okay. They're straight up telling you now, like first it was every 8 months, you're going to need Boost Mobile. Now they're talking about taking it to 5. And like Apostle Tahar said, then it's going to be 3. Then it's going to be monthly. Then it's going to be like there's a movie every time you go to wherever you're going. So anybody who's planning on, all right, taking some juice, drinking some juice, some curl activator, to get your curl tight, you're going to have to keep spraying that shit on. You're going to have to keep spraying it on, and then it's going to come to a point where, damn, you're going to be drenched in it. You're going to just be walking around with curl activator juice dripping all off the back of your ear, then it's going to start to taint you. And it already, not that the first one didn't. Not that the first spray of curl activator didn't poison you, but then, damn. And now you got to get a Boost Mobile flip phone every other month. So the dude from the FDA is like, wait, look, let's chill. Let's be more subtle in how and Biden's, no, well, we got to do it now, because he hates Israelites, man. He hates you, Israelites. But it said their kingdom shall be divided in Peleg. All right, divided. Yeah, this thing is acting crazy. To be divided. I mean, to be simple with it. To divide. To be divided. And we're seeing prophecy play out. To be split. All right. Peleg, which is one of our forefathers' names. All right, Palag. Now, let's go back here real quick. It says, and whereas thou sawest the feet, which the feet represent the end of the vision that Daniel saw in this dream, all right, or that when he interpreted this dream, it says, and whereas thou sawest the feet, the end of the whole image, all right, which it ends with Babylon the Great, the NATO and the EU, whereas thou sawest the feet and the toes, the big hard ass toes, part of potter's clay and part iron, the kingdom shall be divided. Okay, but there shall be in it of the strength of iron. They're military. Okay, they're still strong militarily, but they're divided. And now you have particular EU countries making deals with Russia. Iran's getting up in there. A lot of them try to separate from Babylon's, petrodollar. They're trying to make deals outside of the dollar, create their own currencies. So they're divided on a lot of things, but militarily they do agree. I mean, not militarily, they're still strong. All right, but they don't agree on a hell of a lot. Okay. It says, for as much thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay. And as the toes of the feet were part iron and part clay, the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. That's the division. All right. Satan's kingdom is ultimately divided, man, and is going to end. All right. Whereas thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. All right. Because Esau has a way of getting amongst different nations, whether it be via force or whether it be via, marriages, or whether it be via, subtlety, wiggling himself, getting particular deals to where he can forward his agenda. Okay. Economic hitman is one of the ways. You just type in economic hitman. It should be an interview. I don't know if it's taken off the internet, but he tells you how he would go, through these different countries and, present deals to these leaders. If they weren't down with it, the leader would disappear. He'd have a car crash, a plane crash. He'd choke on a piece of, choke on some root beer. He drinking, the president of such and such choked on some beef jerky, was push the propaganda, which really is them that put him to death. And then they'll set up a puppet leader in that particular region of the earth, and they're able to forward themselves in their plans. Halliburton comes after the war and just sets up all of these corporations which only benefit them. This devil is on a whole nother level. You talk about thug, all right? This is thug passion on a whole nother level, man. See? Now, they're going to mingle themselves amongst, with the seed of men, okay? But they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. So they're going to stop agreeing. All right, let's see if we can get that word cleave real quick. Okay. Cleave, to cling. The bach, to cleave, to cling, to stick, to cleave, to keep close, to stick with, to follow closely, to overtake, to be joined together. See that? And we're seeing an example of them not clinging to one another, though they've set up these different deals and put, particular demons who are going to forward their agenda in high positions. All right, now you're going to see like it ain't, it's not going to work. But this is where we are at the end of the day. In the days of these kings, all right, shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people. It's not for the kingdom, ain't for everybody. Okay, no other nation will be beamed up, changed, and rule in the kingdom under Yahushua. It's only Israelites. Okay, starting with the elect. All right, it shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces. The Lord's coming to break this whole thing up. Consume all these kingdoms. It shall stand forever. Okay, and that's Yahushua. He's coming to take these wicked ass kingdoms down, man. But hopefully I'll edify, man. On to the next. Shalom.